I told you not to sleep on Madrimov. Months back, I made a YouTube short saying not to sleep on Israil Madrimov because I knew many people were once they saw he had only 10 wins. I get it, someone so great as Crawford fighting a no-name with only 10 wins isn't the biggest fight until you actually research this no-name. Madrimov had over 300 amateur fights and won a title in just his 11th professional fight. I also mentioned that he would not be as stiff as Errol Spence, and it was clear last night that he wasn't. I knew that his Uzbekistani or Eastern European style or whatever you want to call it was going to be difficult for Terence Crawford. It's one of my favorite styles for a reason. He was very bouncy, getting in and out, being very patient and just waiting for a shot, also relied a lot on his counterpunching. I just really had a feeling, for some reason, that he was going to give Crawford trouble and even shocked the world and actually beat him by a decision. It went to the cards, ended up being Terence Crawford's hardest fight probably ever, definitely ever. I mean, people were even saying that it was a robbery. People even thought that Madrimov did win the fight. He did enough to win. I think Terence Crawford did enough to win. Big reason why is those last 2 rounds. Alrighty, if you want to recap the fight though, it was back and forth. Crawford, he was showing that, who he was. He was patient. Both guys were patient. It was a chess match. Alrighty, that's definitely what I love to see. Crawford walked Madrimov down, but Madrimov stayed in sometimes. He stayed in the center of the ring, bouncing back and forth, trying to be patient. Fans weren't happy with it, but I knew what was happening. Both guys were smart. Just because Madrimov had only 10 professional wins, he had 11 professional fights, but one of it was a draw, but he has 10 wins. 1 draw. Alright, I knew that he was still smart because those 300 amateur fights, those guys are very, very skilled, especially in Europe. You know what I mean? I knew what was happening. They were being patient, and that's what happened. It started to open up more in the later rounds. Crawford did land, bigger shots, and that's probably what favored the judges more. Going into the championship rounds, the 11th and 12th round, I had anybody's fight, but Crawford just did more. He landed more combinations. He was smarter. He did what he had to do, and that's a big reason why he won the fight. He did enough to win the fight. The main reason why was those last 2 rounds. I was rooting for Madrimov. I like Terence Crawford. I don't hate Terence Crawford, but I was saying from the jump, months ago, when this fight was announced, do not sleep on Madrimov. I would have loved to see an underdog, somebody with only 10 wins, defeat a guy like Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford, probably the most complete boxer ever. We've seen it last night. We've seen it against Errol Spence. He is certainly the most complete boxer I've ever seen, without a doubt. He showed that last night. Has the power, has the IQ, has the defense, and people are going to hate. I think he did enough to win, but Madrimov certainly showed the world that he can compete. He can beat anybody at 154. He's going to be around for a while. So what's next for Madrimov? Well, 154 is starting to stack up a bit. You have Sebastian Fundora, Tim Tszyu, Virgil Ortiz. You have Lubin, Spence, and of course now Terence Crawford. It's definitely getting stacked up. But Israil Madrimov, just because he lost and he's not the champion anymore, I don't think he just bumped down and fight non-champions to get tune-ups. He's ready. He's young. Let him stay active. Give him another title shot. I think he can beat Fundora. I think he can beat Tim Tszyu. And of course, Virgil Ortiz. Give him the big fights. Don't let him degrade. We want to see his career. He reminds me a lot like Triple G. He really does. But I was very, very impressed with Madrimov. Terence Crawford obviously was too. I mean, that was definitely his hardest fight of his career. A good night of boxing last night. I'd say it took too long. I mean, I don't like all that worshiping they do to that Turkey dude. I get it. He's what makes these fights. But come on. I mean, the delaying is crazy. All these awards they were giving him, the concerts. It was a long night. Let me just say that. But it was good. It was good. Fights, definitely cool. And definitely cool to see Madrimov really put the world on notice. Let me know what you guys think. Who won the fight? Do you think Madrimov did enough to win? Do you think Terence Crawford did enough to win? And what's next for Madrimov? I'm out, guys. Peace.